Nothing goes better with the colors of autumn than a drive through New England's winding roads. Throw in some of the best hotels in the country, exquisite food, and a fleet of Lamborghinis, and you've got yourself the Giro Lamborghini Tour. This is a road trip like you've never experienced before. More than a dozen Lamborghinis traveling over 600 miles in 3 days. I'm Ramona Bruland, and join me as we take the back roads of New England by storm. I am upstate New York on a very special fall road trip with my friends from Lamborghini. Our adventure starts at Lake George, the gateway to the Adirondacks. And for 3 days, we're going to be racing through the back roads of the Northeast, stopping in beautiful Lake Placid, Manchester Village, Vermont, and ending in Boston. Michael, you just go from luxury brand to luxury brand. I mean, Ducati is fabulous, but Lamborghini? Hello, how long have you been with these guys?
I've been with Lamborghini for about a year now. It's felt like about 5. It's a high energy job and a high energy brand, as you can imagine.
Lamborghinis in Hollywood, celebrities are driving it. It is a very iconic car. What's the type of person that gathers here at these Giros that you throw? The
public image is the music stars and the movie stars and all of that glamour. You come to a Giro and you see the real owners of Lamborghini. The people who drive the cars and husband and wife teams who come along. It's their vacation and they like to blast around the countryside, eat good food, drink wine, and lie about how fast they are to all their other friends. And you know, but the people who come are generally not the glamorous, high-profile celebrities. They're the real Lamborghini enthusiasts. That's why we like doing these Giros so much.
I must admit, I was expecting some really outrageous characters here, but they are just really nice, normal people that like to play.
Business people, doctors, industrialists. I mean, regular, successful people who just live in a fantasy when they're creating their jobs and their success, and they want to reward themselves with what they consider to be the best. And that's what Lamborghini is.
Who spends hundreds of thousands of dollars on a car? We'll meet them after the break. Join us as day one of this epic journey takes us through the winding roads of the Adirondacks.
While this event is about the colourful, high-octane cars that these people are here to drive, it's also about the characters that come from all over the world to test out these high-performance vehicles.
The owners may seem to be as varied as the cars they drive, but they're unified by the need for speed.
Richard, these are your peeps. This is what you do. How long have you been driving Lamborghinis for?
About 4 years. The best thing I've ever done in my life.
So this one's your beautiful car that you're driving this week.
Yes,
Tell us about this one.
This is a 2013 Performante.
Now this is your baby behind us, right? How long have you had this one for?
3 years.
And this one is the?
Murcielago.
Why did you choose Lamborghini as a car to drive?
It's exciting, it's unmistakable, it's fantastic in terms of performance.
As much as I like the city driving, I don't think it even goes that slow. So I do like to let it rip every once in a while.
So the first leg of this trip is a 120-mile stretch up winding and mountainous roads to Lake Placid. It's a great opportunity for drivers to test out the performance of their vehicle as well as their driving abilities. So let's see what these 500+ horsepower vehicles can do on these mountainous roads. So Giro is an Italian word for
Tour.
What's the ultimate overall experience that drivers and owners get when they come on a Giro?
And it's a lifestyle, it's a passion, being passionate about driving.
How do you select the routes that we're driving on this week?
I was out 2 weeks ago. I drove roughly 1,500 miles just to put together a nearly 600-mile drive route. The beauty that we're driving through, it's gotta look great.
It's a tough job.
It's really tough.
These are great events for customers first to enjoy driving their cars. It can be a musician, rock star, or it could be a seasoned businessman at the top of a multi-million-dollar company.
We're just taking a quick pit stop here on our way to Lake Placid, checking out the fall foliage. It is beautiful.
Okay, Ramona, so we had the first little session, the cold morning start. Now we're doing the run up to Lake Placid for lunch. A couple of things, quick do's and don'ts,
Okay.
really easy. Do drive fast.
Okay.
Yeah. Do drive aggressively. Oh, is this on camera? Do drive within the law whenever possible.
Okay.
But a Lamborghini works best when you don't give it any respect. When you drive it like you stole it.
You're really gonna let me jump in the driver's seat right now and take a
I'm
spin?
gonna regret this, I know.
I cannot believe I am about to drive an Aventador Lamborghini in New England. This is like heaven on a stick.
And when you really give it some right foot, it's just like a video game. The world just goes. Okay, so drop a gear.
110. Policeman, act normal. These must be pretty good chick magnets too, right?
Yeah, you're fighting them off with the stick. Driving along, minding my own business, heavy traffic, and a car comes up in the left lane next to me. So it's not a car, it's an Escalade. And I look across, and smiling at me all alongside the car is a whole car full of women. There's some girl writing something. She puts it up. It's her cell phone number.
Oh.
Yeah, you've been driving this for 10 minutes, right? You're
Yeah.
already way more comfortable in the car than you were when you got in,
Yes.
right? Imagine if you'd driven it for a couple of hundred miles. It's
Right.
like almost like second nature at that point.
I tell you what, that is one hell of a rush. I kind of have this body buzz going on right now. I can feel the adrenaline still surging. And I love it how the biggest thing on the dashboard is your RPMs, and it's all about getting up to 6,000 RPMs, 7,000 RPMs. And then the paddle shifters, so smooth. You have to do the automatic or the manual. It's just like, it's like a dream. I tell you what, we could geek out over these cars all lunchtime long, and I think that's what we're gonna do, right? Go have some lunch and
Sure.
geek out a bit more about the experience. Oh, just finished a long and leisurely lunch here at the Lake Placid Lodge, right on the waterfront. You can see behind me here, Whiteface Mountain, where they've had 2 Winter Olympics. Now that we're sufficiently stuffed, it is time to hit the road and go for another drive. Well, stay tuned. There's more of this epic Lamborghini journey coming up after this break. Time to leave the state of New York and head over the Green Mountains into Vermont. Now, I am super excited about this part of the Giro because Vermont offers some of the best leaf peeping this time of year. And not to mention, our destination today is at the Equinox in Manchester, a AAA 4-diamond resort. I can't wait to get there. Oh, there's the cars. I think they're ready to go. Being out there with all these male drivers, you know, because you're just like dominating with that car.
A lot of men just think that cars are about them. I think a lot of women think so too, but you know, we like the excitement, we like to go fast.
Why be
we
in
like
the
nice
passenger seat
things.
when you can be behind the wheel, right?
I'm behind the wheel.
How often do you take your car on the track, and what do you do when you're out there?
Well, we took the car last season for a full season to the track. You go around, you drive as fast as you can, as safely as you can, and my personal top speed in this car is about 165 miles an hour.
think a lot of people are really surprised when they think of the Lamborghini brand and they see the people and they say, boy, these people are so nice. We're really having such a great time. We're getting to see this beautiful countryside, experience roads like I've never seen in my lifetime.
All right, we're about to get moving again, but we do take these little pit stops so we can regroup and get back together, and then we're almost in Vermont. Sweet! When you're driving, the coolest thing that I love about these Lamborghinis is there's no clutch, there's just these paddle shifters here on the steering wheel. Right hand, you go up a gear, left hand, you go down. It's the coolest thing ever. Today we drove from New York into southern Vermont. We're here now at the Equinox, where we're going to give the cars a bit of a rest this afternoon and do some other activities instead. Like a bit of falconry. Buddy? Oh, and if falconry wasn't cool enough, these guys have us shooting bows and arrows. This is so cool. Check it out, the Equinox, one of the most beautiful hotels up here in the Northeast. We're gonna go check it out. This afternoon's activities were so much fun. Tried a lot of new things, but right now I am looking forward to heading into the Equinox and relaxing over some food and wine with my new Lamborghini friends.
After 2 days behind the wheel and nearly 450 miles of high-speed maneuvering through the New England countryside, a well-deserved meal was just what we needed. The food was exquisite, matched only by the grandeur of the century-old Equinox. Coming up, the final day of driving as we speed our way towards Boston, Massachusetts.
Sad to be leaving the Equinox here in Manchester Village for two reasons. One, it is so beautiful, but this is our third and final day of the tour. So bummed out about that. It's a little more overcast today, which means we're going to have to be a bit more cautious on the road, but today's drive through Vermont and Massachusetts on our way to Boston is going to be absolutely exquisite. So every day starts with a driver's briefing, and Kelly, he's the man. He keeps us all together, gives us all the information we need. Come on.
Day 3, our last day today. It should be a great drive. If you notice going out to get fuel today, it's very slick out there. Victor was just talking about Tokyo drifting down the main street here in Manchester, so it can be done. Yeah, please be careful.
Tell me about this car that we're in. Which Lamborghini is this one?
This is the Lamborghini Gallardo LP 550-2 Spider. So the LP is for longitudinal posterior. That's the way that the engine is situated within the car.
Okay.
To give us our lowest center of gravity. The 550 is for 550 horsepower.
Horsepower, yep.
And the 2 is for the two-wheel drive. Some people prefer a two-wheel drive car as opposed to an all-wheel drive car. They think it's more purist. They tend to be a little looser through the turns, meaning that you can drift these cars much easier than you would be able to an all-wheel drive car.
We're moving at a bit more of a leisurely pace today. It's kind of grey out, drizzling ever so slightly. The roads are a bit wet, but this is our lunch stop on day 3, Red Apple Farms. It's so cute. Come in, take a look.
It's fun to go to lunch and just to drive it. It's a great date night car for weekends.
By far, I think the Aventador is my favorite. It's the flagship for Lamborghini, and I had an amazing experience last year to go to Rome, Italy for the launch of the car, for the global dealer launch.
And it's great that he fits inside of that one.
Right, and I'm 6'5", so to be able to fit in that car comfortably, I could drive that car every day. And then I think the most iconic car, which is we don't have a legacy car here, is probably the Countach, which came out in the early 70s. And that was really an iconic car for Lamborghini that many of us grew up with as little kids, as little boys, and having posters on our walls.
Yes, very sexy, and it looks beautiful going from state to state.
Our final 80 miles begins in the beautiful woods of Vermont and ends in the urban jungle of Boston. Although the rain forced us to drive a little slower, we didn't let that dampen our spirits. The beauty of the New England countryside was still radiant despite the raindrops.
Wow, what a contrast. We've left the beautiful backcountry roads and are now in the bustling metropolis of Boston. The Lamborghinis are all safely tucked away in the garage, and I am going to go freshen up for our last night to get together and enjoy each other's company before we all disappear back home to reality.
After 600 miles, it's time to kick back and relax in Boston. An impressive wine vault and first-class amenities are just a few of the features that makes the Mandarin Hotel the perfect final destination for a Lamborghini Giro. It's so sad to see this amazing Lamborghini Giro journey come to an end. Coming up, we'll look back at some of the best moments from the last 3 days.
Dinner party after 3 days of phenomenal driving, fine dining and all these fabulous activities. What was your highlight, Roland, over the last 3 days of this Giro tour?
My highlight was going through a beautiful countryside and seeing a beautiful country of Vermont, New England, the New York area, the Adirondacks, and the leaves and the colors.
All through the windscreen of a
Lamborghini at 150 miles an hour, sometimes.
My favorite part was Sasha coming from behind on the car at about 170 miles an hour. And it was like a little red blur, and all of a sudden, whew, right? I see you in my background. Yeah.
My favorite thing was the camaraderie of all of these people and the love of fast cars.
My favorite moment was when I got, just to be a part of the whole group and to see all the cars ahead of me and the beautiful scenery, but I got to open up a little bit. So everybody kind of went ahead, and I knew it was safe. There was no cows coming out, no deers coming out, so I knew it was safe to kind of open it up a little bit, and really enjoyed that.
Being from South Florida, my favorite part was Lake Placid and the beauty of the lodge at Lake Placid, the lunch there, the scenery. It was just phenomenal. And I've never seen the leaves change, and it was beautiful. Spectacular trip. We really enjoyed ourselves.
So what was your favorite thing about the last 3 days?
After the people, it would be 13 Lamborghinis cold starting in the morning.
All the sound?
The sound.
Gets everyone's attention really fast, doesn't it?
The sound, yes.
Actually meeting him for the first time and his friend. And the laughs a mile a minute. Faster than the cars, actually.
Roland and Richard, they're quite the duo, aren't
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
they? So what is the sound of a Lamborghini?
Oh, raw power. Yeah, raw power.
She's not going to make it, is she?
Favorite moment of the trip, hands down, was the drive behind Michael Locke in the Aventador. We are hanging on by a thread in the LP560. and Michael's ripping it up on this windy road he's never driven before. I've never driven before. I don't know what's going on. And if I lose Michael Locke, I've lost the entire game today. That's it. I'm out of the game. I've lost. I don't know where I am. And I have no map. I got nothing. So I had to hang on for dear life, and I did it. It was great. It was absolutely the best.
We love female Lamborghini drivers, don't we?
Totally.
You think I could qualify as a badass one of these days?
You still need to do some practicing, but I think we can get you there.
Okay, you know, true. Good point. Okay, well then let's get behind the wheel more, right?
Okay.
Deal?
Yeah.
Let's take a look now, shall we, while we sit down for dinner at some of my favorite highlights over the last 3 days.
Do drive fast.
Okay.
Yeah. Do drive aggressively. Oh, is this on camera?
I cannot believe I am about to drive an Aventador Lamborghini in New England.
Okay, so drop a gear.
So you having fun yet?
Well, that's it, a wrap for the 2012 Giro Lamborghini Tour up here in New England. I am so bummed it's all over. It's been the most amazing 3 days, 600 miles, over a dozen Lamborghinis, just cruising the countryside. I tell you what, this is one event I will never forget. The people have been phenomenal, the destinations, the hotels, the food. It just leaves me breathless. But you know what? I cannot wait until next year for the 50th anniversary of Lamborghini, their Giro in Italy. Now that's going to be awesome. I will see you there.